After week 0, USC and Lincoln Riley definitely didn't show fans exactly what they wanted to see on the defensive side of the ball, as USC, out of the 14 teams that played in week 0, ranked number 10 in total defensive rankings. However, it is week 0, so we hope to not learn a lot about these teams, but I felt like we learned a lot about USC. And although I'm a little late to getting to the party about a season preview, I think we all could have chalked up that San Jose State was going to lose that game. Now, if you watched me over on Around the Table Sports with Ty, you guys heard me talk about San Jose State. And well, although I thought a upset was unlikely, San Jose State was definitely going to cause USC problems. And that's what you saw in the first half of that game. They were controlling the game. They were able to move the ball. And ultimately, USC was not the position that they wanted to be at halftime. And ultimately, fans turned to the message boards again to complain about the defense for USC and Alex Grinch, asking, will it ever get better? Well, USC fans, today we are here to break down your schedule, and we're here to give you guys a realistic look at ideally what is in store here. Because I'm not probably as high as some other people are on USC, and that's not because I'm an OU fan, but I just think that their schedule is really tough, and it's like front easy. You know, a lot of time we talk about front heavy, back heavy. It's back heavy for USC. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the schedule, and let's just dive in. So you start the season 1-0 with a win against San Jose State. The good news is you have 2 weeks here to clean up some of the messes that you realistically need to clean up before you hit Pac-12 play. Nevada, Stanford should be 2 easy wins for USC. No problem. You would bet Caleb Williams isn't going to have to play in the fourth quarter of those games. And when you look at what USC did last season, then you would expect they would probably replicate some of that success, right? We're talking sacks. They had 40 sacks last year, second in the country. Tackles. They had 845 tackles last year. They had 3 defensive touchdowns. They had 19 interceptions. They had 16 fumbles. So when you look at USC, you expect for them to replicate some of that success on defense, maybe even improve on it a little bit, because you got guys like Bear Alexander, Anthony Lucas. You got Mason Cobb from Oklahoma State University, a linebacker that was a tremendous producer for them. So you expect USC to get a little better in that department this year. And I believe they're probably going to clean it up a little bit in weeks 2 and 3. But I have questions about this team, and we'll get to that here in a second. Arizona State, they are going to maybe test your defense a little bit more, but it still should be a pretty easy game for USC to win. Arizona State's probably not going to be that good, but Jaden Rashada being a dual threat quarterback and then also having Drew Pine on the bench, I think that's going to push USC's off defense a little bit. It shouldn't, but I think it will, because I just don't think USC's defense is going to improve that much. Colorado, this is going to be a game where I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be kind of like what you saw with Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma in the Big 12, right? I think you're going to see some of those games where, hey, USC is going to have to score 50-plus points in this game to win it, because Colorado might score 45. I'm not saying that's going to be the score, but you guys kind of catch my drift. Go back and look at some of those OU games that Lincoln Riley had coached in as a head coach or as an offensive coordinator. You were having to score 50-plus, sometimes 60 points to be able to oust and win in conference play against teams you shouldn't have. And I think Colorado's going to kind of fall into that aspect here. I also think this is going to be a nationally televised game. You've got Deion Sanders, Lincoln Riley, Shedeur Sanders, Caleb Williams, right? 4 big stars in this game. Colorado's coaching staff is loaded up with former coaches. This is going to be a game that broadcasts are going to want to have on their channels. And I think there's going to be a fight over who's going to get it. Probably going to be Fox, but someone's going to want to broadcast this game. Everybody should want to broadcast it. It's going to be a good one. Arizona should be an easy win for USC. Easy win. I don't think anybody's going to doubt me there. At Notre Dame, this is the one that I question, because although I say we shouldn't learn a lot about teams in week 0, Notre Dame looked pretty solid against Navy. Now, again, it's week 0 and they played Navy. However, we know that they're going to have a good defense. They're going to put out a good defense this year. And if Caleb Williams has not figured out how to throw against the too high safety look, then I think that this could be a concern for USC fans. This is not going to be the Notre Dame team that we had last year where they struggled early and then figured it out towards the end. I think by this time they're going to have it. I think USC probably could be undefeated by this time. So at Notre Dame, I think is a loss. I think that could change, though, as we see the season go on and we see if Caleb Williams improves in some of those situations. But for now, I'm going to call it a loss on your guys' schedule. The next week, Utah at home. So this one is not in favor of Utah getting it home. It's going to be in favor. It's going to be in USC's home field. The question is Cam Rising going to be playing in that game? If Cam Rising plays in that game, which I'm assuming he is, then I think USC loses it. Kyle Whittingham seems like he has Lincoln Riley's number. It seems like Utah will be the Kansas State of the Pac-12 for USC. So I got that one as a loss. 2 straight losses for USC fans. Not what you want to hear, but good news is on the horizon. You bounce back against Cal. Should be an easy win. Again, just like Stanford, they don't know what conference they're going to be in. I think there's a lot of uncertainty with these schools and these coaches and these players. They might be tuned out this season. I don't know. It's going to be an easy win. Should be bloodbath for USC. Versus Washington, I really like Washington, but I think USC has the better quarterback play here, and I think this is what this game's going to come down to. So I believe USC will beat Washington probably by 2 scores. And then you have at Oregon. This is actually a loss because it's in Eugene. Oregon's going to have a talented team, especially on defense. You got Bo Nix back. So it's hard to play in Eugene. USC, you're not cutting the deal here. UCLA at home. That's a W. I don't know what Chip Kelly's doing on the offensive side of the ball with that quarterback. Not sure what he's doing there. However, I do think that USC fans shouldn't have to worry about UCLA this year. This is a rivalry that I think you guys are going to win pretty handily. But going into the Big Ten, the question is, does UCLA adapt faster to playing not only that high-power offense that Chip Kelly likes to run, but adapting a defense? And I think that's where we're going to transition the rest of this video. As I just said, 9-3, right? That's going to be the prediction for USC. 9-3. It could be better for USC, though. It all depends on this defense. Because when you look at the defense last year, and as I highlighted a little bit ago, 3 defensive touchdowns, 845 tackles, 40 sacks. You had 19 interceptions, 16 fumbles that were caused, right? If USC can build on what they did, which we all know Alex Grinch likes to create turnovers. He believes that if you create enough turnovers in a game, it's going to translate to you winning games, which is true. I mean, you win a turnover battle, you're going to win games. However, you can't rely on this when you go to play the big boys. And we've seen this at Oklahoma, and I feel like USC fans are seeing it at USC a lot quicker, and they're not putting up with it. Props to you guys for immediately jumping into the message boards and just being like, hey, like Alex Grinch isn't the dude. And I get it. Y'all say Lincoln Riley, he must have something on him. Guys, I really don't. I just think, hey, Lincoln Riley likes the guy. I don't feel like Lincoln Riley can make those hard decisions. And I think the hard decision is to fire Alex Grinch and bring somebody else in. But the question is, who does Lincoln Riley bring in as a defensive coordinator? Does he try to go out there and get a Gary Patterson who was just at Texas last year? Like, where does he go for the defensive coordinator search? He's going to have to probably find somebody that's up and coming. And I'm not sure that there's a whole lot of candidates out there at this exact moment. So USC fans, hold in there. There could be a better season than 9-3 sitting in the waiting for you. But I think it's going to take a lot of improvement on that defense. We definitely don't want to see what you saw against San Jose State for the rest of the season, because if you see that against Stanford and Nevada, yeah, you're going to be in trouble heading into conference play. But guys, I want to hear from you. I want to hear what your thoughts are about the schedule prediction for USC. 9-3 is what I got on the table. I want to hear what y'all's thoughts are. I want to hear your disagreements. I want to hear your guys' takes. So go ahead, jump down in the comments below. And if you have not already, go ahead and hit that like and hit that subscribe button.